Hello, deacons and divinities. My name is TB Skyn, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where I'm stepping away from the barista shredding on the guitar over there to introduce you to the next episode of The Thing, where we're going to keep going through the patch content of The Thing, where we probably still need to end the Dragon Song War at some point, kill Nilhogg, maybe get Estinian back so we can relentlessly dunk on him for being an idiot. But not to do any of that, first I think we need to talk to Tataru. Much as I worry for the future of Isgard, the fate of our missing friends concerns me even more.
Alphanel, Brick, I've been looking all over for you. We've received news regarding Flamin, Horribolder, and Coltene.
Coltene? Really? Has something happened?
No, it's nothing bad. Quite the opposite, in fact. It seems that once they learned the Scion's good name had been restored, they boarded the next ship bound for Limsa Laminsa. They should be arriving any moment now. It's easy to forget how useful link pearls are, isn't it? When they work, I mean, and you don't mind being spied on.
Quite. But what wonderful news. To think that our reunion is close at hand. A pleasure to see you too, Alfino.
Ah, Thancred.
And Kryl, what brings the two of you here? Well, Kryl and I have been looking into how we might track down Minfilia.
And we may just have found the answer.
Brick, when you were fleeing Uldar with Minfilia, you said that Hydaelyn spoke to her shortly before you parted ways, yes? Well, assuming that is true, and I can see no reason to suspect it is not, it seems reasonable to conclude that Hydaelyn commanded her to remain behind. That is to say, the Mother Crystal directly interceded to guide Minfilia. Admittedly, this is still quite hypothetical, but I propose that such an intervention, however subtle, must surely leave some residual trace, a lingering disturbance in the ether, or ripple, if you will. In order to establish the existence of such ripples, of course, we will require suitable data. Fortunately, I know where such data can be found. The battleground where Brick felled the Ultima weapon, and the site of my personal ignominy. Ignominy? How the fuck do you pronounce that word? I don't actually know. Ignominy. I think it's ignominy. I think. Oh, someone in chat is talking about how to get started on Final Fantasy. Yeah, I'd say Final Fantasy VII Remake is probably not the greatest place to start. Specifically because Final Fantasy VII Remake is not really a remake so much as it's a kind of meta-sequel to Final Fantasy VII. Like, it's a game that's not really trying to remake Final Fantasy VII so much as it's trying to respond to, and expand upon it, and that it's very meta in that way, and it's kind of hard to parse for people who've not played the original. So I'd say for a first Final Fantasy, like 9, 10 are probably good places to start. 13 isn't terrible to start with, just because it's a very streamlined and much more simple. It's a much more streamlined and simple version of what about 14? Well, 14 is an MMO, right? Like, and that's sort of that's very much an exception. 14 is an MMO more than it's a Final Fantasy game, I would say. Strangers of Paradise. I mean, yeah, if you're into action games and you like cheese, if you like cheesy action games, Stranger of Paradise is absolutely a good place to start. But like Final Fantasy IX is... I consider Final Fantasy IX the ultimate of the old school Final Fantasy games. Like, that's the game that's like the most traditional in its approach to being a classic, just an absolute classic JRPG. It has one of the most like aesthetically compelling worlds of any Final Fantasy game ever. Like, just it's so gorgeous, it's so beautiful, the art design is so pretty, and it has a great story as well, like a big ensemble, operatic, sort of very, like, emotion-driven and, like, huge, like, fantasy story. It has a lot of heart, yeah. Final Fantasy VII, the original Final Fantasy VII, is probably the one that is the best introduction to sci-fi and modern Final Fantasy VII. But it's also graphically very old at this point. It's like, and it is very clunky by modern standards. So I don't know if it's like, it lacks a lot of the quality of life stuff that you get in Final Fantasy IX. 7 has not aged well at all. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you want to play 7, there's some mods you can install on PC that updates the English translation. And like that makes it a lot better in that way. But I would start with Final Fantasy IX. And then if you want the more modern Final Fantasy games, then 13 probably is the one to start with, because that sort of establishes the vibe that Final Fantasy starts to follow. After 13, then 15. Like, 15 would be great if it wasn't so fucking incomplete. Like, that game had the most troubled production history in it ever. Absolutely terrible. It's like, the parts of the game that are finished are fantastic. The parts of Final Fantasy 15 that are finished are amazing. They're great. But so much of it isn't. Like, just isn't finished at all. It's a very messy game. So, like, I would say 9, 10, 13 are probably good starting points if you want to get into the Final Fantasy series. And then from there, you can branch out and play the other games, right? That would be my recommendation. Let's see. Anyway, I was in the middle of a cutscene. It was there that Heidelin intervened to shield him from the magic I invoked. Kral and I will infiltrate the castrum and analyze the ether therein. 13? Really? I heard so much bad stuff about that game. It has problems. 13... I mean, I'm also on the Final Fantasy 13 hate train. I really do feel like it's a game with a lot of problems, but it is also where the modern era of Final Fantasy begins. Like, Final Fantasy 13 establishes so much of what becomes, like, the aesthetic norm for the series, and the storytelling norm for the series, going throughout 15 and now into 16 as well, honestly. A lot of that starts there. So, like, and also, it does, like, it has problems, but it's not a terrible game. What about 12? What's your take on it? 12 has a great story. 12 has a great story. It has a really interesting world. It's also just a very unusual game in the Final Fantasy series. Like, it's very... It's like... It's a game that you should definitely play, but I wouldn't introduce someone to Final Fantasy with it. Right? Yeah, 12, like, that's the thing about Final Fantasy 12. Final Fantasy 12 was originally developed as part of the development process for an MMO, right? Like, it was originally part of the, like, it sprung out of a lot of the development of Final Fantasy 11. And then, like, it got retooled to be a single-player installment before that, but it has a lot of that DNA in it, right? Never played a game that's so built around making you play it as little as possible. I mean, yeah, like, I really like the Gambit system in 12, actually. I really like that you can sort of program your party members to react to situations and shit. But I also remember, like, on launch, Final Fantasy 12, because it didn't have the job system yet, Final Fantasy 12 on launch had some huge problems with its balancing and with the way that the game's systems were put together. Once they did the Zodiac job system, then it actually became, from a gameplay perspective, much more interesting, because now there's sort of a party building thing where you have to lock people into certain roles, right? You can just set a Gambit for melee attacks and heals, and that's enough. No, you can't. At least not with a job system. Like, that because it introduces a lot of limitations on the licenses you can get, that actually forces you to play a little bit more strategic. Anyway, where the hell was I? Right. Someone asked if I'm going to play Final Fantasy 16 when it comes out. Yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Absolutely, yes, I am. But anyway, the two of you, alone.
I have a proven knack for subterfuge, and I'm confident there will be sufficient nooks and crannies in which to hide Kryl when the patrols pass. Besides, if you and Brick come along, who will see to Flamin's grand homecoming? Oh, well, when you put it like that. Very well, I will trust in your plan. I know not whether this data will yield a means to find Minfilia, but it will at the very least eliminate another avenue of inquiry. Totaro and I will return to the Rising Stones and make preparations for our comrades' return. Might I impose upon you to meet them at the Laminson docks? Then I shall see the four of you at the Rising Stones. Safe travels!
Okay, someone redeemed... So, Torpedo Pickle, did you mean to redeem that thing? I'm sort of questioning. It was an accident. Okay. I'm gonna refund you the points then. You should get the points back now. Right, let's go see Flamin. Has her character design been updated as well? That would be cool. Oh, now that's a fucking look. Holy shit, what a coat. And with the little koala. Oh, that's really nice. Anyway. Can I get an instant design review of the new Ganondorf design instead? My design review of Ganondorf is that he's extremely hot and horny. He's probably the horniest Ganondorf design ever. Hey! Oh, look at her. Girl, that's an upgrade. That's an upgrade and a half. Nice. So that also, like, this also makes her look like, remember way back when we first met Flamin, right? And I talked about, like, it was cute how, like, they tried so hard to make her seem older by sort of giving her mom clothes, like, by giving her sort of this very basic, like, dress and, like, sort of trying to downplay the sort of, like, the youthful sexiness that kind of comes along with the cat girls. But here, they've done a much better job of it. Like, this looks much more, like, matronly. Like, much more like the outfit of a woman who's a little bit older. And I know that she's not that much older than Minfilia. Like, I know she's not supposed to be a grandma, right? But this is much more of a mom outfit. Like, this is much more of a sort of, like, an outfit of someone who is, like, in a position of family authority, let's put it that way. Like, who's a mom, right? It has more of that vibe. Meanwhile, Hoary Boulder and Coltonay look very much the same, I think. Have they changed? I think Coltonay has a more fancy robe, but has Hoary Boulder gotten something new? I don't remember if he had those ab plates before. Matriarchal. Yes, that's a good term for it. It is a new armor. Okay. They kept their color schemes. Yeah, as they should. Very flamboyant, this outfit. Like, with the bright lime green and then black with those accents on it. That's very flamboyant. I think Flamin got new hair? Did she? Am I seeing things? I don't know. Well, if it isn't Brig Altham. Really, you didn't have to come all this way just for us.
Is that? Oh, by the gods, it is you! Oh, well met, Brig. Well met.
Oh, Brick, how have you been? Come here, let me take a good look at you. Thank the 12. One hears the strangest tales in foreign lands. I worried about you all every day. We would have sent word sooner, but the Braves afforded us no opportunity. When they fell upon us in the market, it was all we could do to escape. Tataru found her way to you, of course, but we were forced to seek shelter aboard a Hannish vessel.
It pained us not to be there when you needed us most. But we made the most of it, didn't we? Kultner. Studied and trained from dusk till dawn, we did.
We would have sent word sooner, but we knew not whom to trust, and the vast distance. But those dark days are behind us at last. I shall indeed be glad to return home and speak with my daughter.
Yeah. About that, we don't have her right now. Like, she's somewhere. She's around, but we don't know exactly, like, just, we have like a general idea of where she maybe might have gone at some point before, but you know, you just sit tight and we'll find her, and just like, we'll know in a second. Don't worry about it.
What do you mean she's missing? How could you let this happen? Forgive me. I'm sure you're doing everything in your power to find her.
Well, I mean, I had to end a 1,000-year blood war, first. That sort of came first, and then, like, I don't know what's happening with her in the meantime, but,
As Thancred must be. He watched over her from the first, long before me, and he will watch over her to the last. I shall pray for her safe return, and busy myself in the meantime.
For certainly, there's much and more to be done. The Braves may have bloodied us, but the path remains, and we shall not be swayed from it.
Aye, that's the spirit. To the Scions, and a long overdue reunion. Huzzah!
Well, there you have it. To the Rising Stones.
Ooh, spooky music. You guys could use a redesign as well. Those outfits look lame as hell. Also, how is that helmet going to protect anyone when it doesn't have a chin strap? Like, it's so easy to knock it off.
Well done, sir. And with that, I believe we are ready to proceed.
Let us be about our business, then. The next patrol may not be so credulous.
It does look better without the eye patch thing. That one was a little too ragged.
Why must you be so disappointingly brusque? You're not at all as Minfilia described, you know. I don't think you favored me with so much as a single compliment since we set out. Tell me, did your time in the wilderness sap you of all your charm? Or are you holding it in reserve for your beloved?
Maybe now is not the time to flirt, actually.
This is neither the time nor the place.
That's weird to hear from Thancred, though.
Well, call me old-fashioned, but when I'm risking life and limb infiltrating an Imperial castrum, I like to be sure of my comrades' motivations.
I see now where Alphino gets it from. Minfilia is dear to me. It is true. But not in the way you think. 15 years passed, when she was still but a child. There was an incident at a parade. A Gubu broke free of its fetters and ran amok through the streets of Uldar. Had I been more attentive, I could have prevented it. But I was distracted, and her father was killed. I feared she would never recover. But in the years that followed, she showed herself to be more resilient than I had ever imagined. And when she learned of her gift, she did not flinch from the responsibility, but sought to guide others on the path. She touched the hearts of all around her. Mine, Louisoire, every Scion's. In those dark days following the calamity, she was our guiding light, our hope for a brighter future. She had so many dreams, and I would give anything to make them come true.
My apologies. I can see she means the world to you. I did not mean to pick at old scars.
Now flirt with the lady like you're supposed to, Thancred.
No harm done, I assure you. But fair is fair, my lady. What is Minfilia to you?
You mean you don't know? Only my dearest friend. When I finally emerged from my torpor, I learned that nary a day had passed without her asking after me. She never gave up hope. And neither will I.
Then for Minfilia's sake, let us pray that these vestiges of Hydaelyn's intervention will lead us to her.
Irashaimasu! Very much that pose.
Home at last. I must make my rounds and see who remains.
It's great to be back in the Toll. It even smells like adventure.
It feels good to be home again. To think that everyone is waiting for us just beyond those doors. Friends and family with whom we have shared so much.
Well, minus a few of them at this point, but you know.
Gods help me, but the older I get, the more sentimental I become. Come, let's not keep them waiting. Is that the Lady Flamin I've heard so much about? Well, well, I shall have to introduce myself.
Dude, I know she's a MILF, but she's off limits.
Nothing like a homecoming to lift everyone's spirits. Thanks for bringing them back, Brick. There they are, at last. Oh, thank the 12.
Okay, so we just talked to the Scions. Okay, cool.
We must tell the children at once. They've always been so fond of Hori. When our comrades betrayed us, I feared all was lost. How wrong I was. Alian, Etham, it fills my heart with joy to see you both hale and healthy. And what of Hikiri? She is well, though abroad on a mission at present. It just wasn't the same without you. Welcome back, my lady.
Aw, reunions.
I worry that Amguz is getting a bit carried away. I suppose I can overlook it at this occasion.
As he just takes a full swig of an entire bottle of wine. A kilo with more of that around here. Heartfelt reunions with solid companions. Brings up... It's here really high.
First Oker and now Hori. A passing fancy I could suffer, but this? Oh, she's hopeless. Utterly hopeless.
What? Isildur.
I heard of it all, Famalian. So where is she? If I'm to greet the songstress of Ulda, I would do so on my feet.
Don't let this guy near any rings. Hey, it's my homie!
To secret oneself in a ship's hold to secure safe passage to a faraway land. This is a tale we know all too well. When they are well rested, I should like to seek a formal introduction. Why, wait, my friend. Come, there's no need to be shy. Pray grant me a moment longer, at least, though I'm happy to oblige you. My legs are rather less accommodating.
Oh my. Decisions.
Yes, yeah, he's returned. Together, my brother and I shall serve the Scions to the breaking of an 8th dawn. Okay, what in the seven hells told my little brother to come to Mordona? Why, you, brother. You and the Scions, of course. For 1,000 days I trained that I might grow as strong as you, that I might fight alongside you. Yet now that you are here, I sense you've surpassed me once more. No, do not tell me. You trained with a Hanish, did you not? Your eyes do not deceive, brother. Aye, I've studied the trials of the braves and drunk deep of the souls of mine enemies.
Bros.
Glad I am as though to be home. I cannot help but think of those who have yet to return. Once we settle in, I would join the search.
I mean, it is a big slab of beef you've got there. I can't say I blame you, girl. I fear, though, that you might be barking up the wrong tree.
It's been so long since I've seen them all like this. Too long. 'Twas the chaos born of my foolish ambition which forced them to flee. Though they are returned, there are others yet missing, others whom we cannot forsake. We'll find them, Elfino. I know we will. Minfilia, Ida, Papalimo, every last one. And when they walk through those doors, we'll be here to welcome them home. With me at the head of the queue, of course.
Wouldn't dream of getting in the way.
It'll all be like it was. Just you wait and see. Mayhap it is for the best that I remain ignorant of the details. Otherwise, I might be tempted to do something rash. I will place my faith in you all, and the 12 see her return to me.
Do they have new dialogue?
I know. I'll look after him and see that he's fit for duty.
Oh, they do.
By the time everyone came back to the troll, there was still a few missing, like young Wildred. Been so long since that boy and I had a drink.
A shame that Higiri was not here to welcome home Lady Flamen home. Still, it should be a pleasure to see the look on her face when she returns and learns of her homecoming. Now that Lady Flamen and the others have returned, we can redouble our efforts to find Ida and Papalimo. If only we had some inkling of where they went when they left Pearl Lane.
Yeah, Wilred. He will maybe not become... He went home to the farm. Upstate. Yeah.
We'll keep things running smoothly while you're away, sir. As you should devote all your time and attention to searching for the missing scions. But I don't understand. I was the healer on those expeditions. How could she have... Oh, gods. Oh, gods, I was sleeping less than 10 fulms away. Oh, I have no sister.
Wait, did she... What? Did she... Was she fucking your boyfriend right next to you? Good lord.
Lady, I've been practicing calisthenics every morning to stay loose and limber. In fact, I think I might be fit to venture out into the field once more.
A warrior should not boast or brag of his accomplishments. So it was taught to me by my father, and by his father before him. Yet I must admit that I delight in hearing the young ones tell of their adventures, their eagerness, their boldness. It is comforting and inspirational both. When the time comes to reclaim what was lost, I know they will rise to the challenge. Looks like Hori's off to a smashing start. Mayhap I should lead them to it and set about being sociable myself. Besides, I'd rather not be around when those two rising stones begin to clash.
Perceptive as ever, brother. Aye, Aenor and I have taken part in many a mission together, and through adversity have forged unbreakable bonds.
Yeah. Yeah, unbreakable. Definitely. She's loyal.
Indeed, her skillful ministrations have provided much comfort.
My guy.
Why not both?
I mean, again, it's a little weird when they're brothers, but yeah, no, like if a nice lay if you can get it, I guess.
But enough about me, brother. What of your escapades? And what of this fetching young lady with whom you still seem so well acquainted?
I mean, girl knows what she wants. She knows what she wants.
A Thancred and Kral contacted us a short while ago. It would seem that they're full reign to Castra Meridianum bore fruit. They asked that we rendezvous with them in Y'shtola and Idleshire, where they'll share their findings. Rude though it is to depart without speaking to the guest of honor, I expect she will forgive me if I return with her daughter.
Just talk to her, Alphino. Come on. We have 5 minutes. Okay, no, fair enough. You could just say hi, you know. This boy.
How is Flamin, by the way? Enchanting as ever, I trust. I shall have to pay my respects when time allows. 'Twas rather less than I'd hoped, though mayhap I asked for too much. My apologies, I see I'm the last to arrive. So, what news have you for us? Well, as we postulated, there were indeed what appeared to be remnants of an unexplained disturbance in the ether at the scene of Ultima Weapon's destruction. A ripple at odds with the presiding pattern. Though faint, the waveforms bore a strong resemblance to those observed following the destruction of the Isle of Val, when I believe Hydaelyn shielded me with the blessing of light. To confirm our findings, we paid a visit to the Sildi Aqueducts. There we detected the same waveform, but orders of magnitude larger, as one would expect from a more recent disturbance. Hydaelyn, there's no other explanation. But there's more. When I studied the site where Y'shtola used to flow, it appeared that not 2, but 3 beings had been affected. Yet, unlike Y'shtola and Thancred, there was no trail to follow. Our unknown third party was simply there, and then not there. Now, recall your visions of a vast crystal floating in a sea of ether. Though this too is but a theory, studies of gifted subjects suggest that when communing with Hydaelyn, we briefly leave our bodies behind. So let us consider the facts. 1, Hydaelyn interceded. 2, a third being was caught in Y'shtola's flow and vanished without a trace. And 3, Hydaelyn may have the capacity to summon the consciousness of a gifted individual to her side. You are implying, I take it, that Hydaelyn guided Minfilia into the compass of my magic, that she might summon her body and soul onto the ethereal sea. In which case, we must needs continue our search there. For a blessing, the means to do so already exists. I speak of the Antitower, a Charlayan construction conceived to provide scholars a vantage point over the ethereal sea. Though I know not where its entrance lies, we need only ask its custodian, a contrary old crone who, for another blessing, refused to join the Exodus. Master Matoya was the keeper of the Antitower? I had no idea. Then our course is clear. We must petition her aid once again.
She's going to complain, but she's secretly very fond of having young people visiting and taking an interest in her. That's my sense of her. We only have an interest in her processions. I mean, she has so much nice stuff.
Oh, what a surprise. Well, what secrets have you come to extract from me this time? Ha! Though it pains me to admit it, your words strike close to the mark. We humbly ask that you grant us entry to the Antitower, that we might use it to seek a friend who we believe has been transported to the ethereal sea.
And who told you I could do such a thing, I wonder?
The tower was abandoned to its magical keepers 15 years ago. They have the run of the place now. If that's no deterrent to you, then by all means. Is that all? I felt sure you would seek to dissuade us from our course, given your role as custodian. Role? Hardly. The Forum foisted the title on me. During the Exodus, every entrance to the Antitower was sealed, save one.
There's just a fucking door over there. This is like no entry. Just a fucking... Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. Just like, don't go in here. This is the job done, I'm taking care of it. My role consists of making sure no one with ill intent sneaks through it. Such was the forum's final order to me. Well, I can remove the wards right now. Will you be going or not?
We will, Master Matoya. We will do whatever it takes to find Minfilia.
We'll see about that. You, Baldesion girl, you're staying here with me. I need your help to restore the wards to their original state. The rest of you can go, on the condition that you clean up the mess in the tower. If you encounter any unruly familiars, you're to tend to them. Those are my terms, and I'll hear no argument. Well, it appears the mistress has spoken. Lead the way, Brick. The Anti-Tower. Oh, yes. I would love to bring some people along, but I can't... When I have the opportunity to go in with my buddy pals, I can't leave that behind. Thank you for subscribing, Mulafatuluri. Ooh. Yeah, I figured it was called the Anti-Tower. It should be upside down, shouldn't it? And once again, we get a dungeon here with some music that's really very chill. It's a cool looking monster, though. It's like a pumped up Sahagin. It actually looks really nice. It's distracting me so much I'm forgetting my rotations. Whee! Oh, hello. Well, don't you look fancy? What's the command for the when you want the camera to focus in on the target? It's ICAM brackets T, right? Yes. Nice hat. Not really what I was hoping to look at there, but Ooh. Oh, I like the rings. It's very cute. Like, see the distinction in, like, the hat and the staff and the rings, how simple they are, kind of like, almost like toys, almost like rock candy or something, and then compared with how, like, kind of freakish and lumpy and weird the rest of it looks. That's cool. Oh, the Castlevania vibes. Very reverse castle at the end of Symphony of the Night. That is very cool, though. It really is. I really like that. That is delightfully kind of freaky. Been in a bad mood today. A French friend of mine got oppressed by the police at a protest. They beat her up and broke all the phones of the protesters they arrested. Yeah, the French police have been escalating the brutality in their response to the protests down there. It's been fucked up to see. Like, just on TV, you can just see them, like, people lying on the ground and like 3 or 4 cops just standing there beating them with sticks. It's fucked. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Calabrina.
We are Calabrina, adorable dolls, terrible dolls, yip-ho-ho.
So the Calabrina from Final Fantasy V also, I believe. Is it 5? Is it 4? No, it's 4. Yeah, no, it's 4. It's 4. And it's in, shit, where is it? Where did you fight her? I can't, is it in the tower? I can't remember. In the Dwarven Castle, right. Okay, well. Okay, geez. Okay, they don't seem to have that much health individually, so presumably something's gonna happen when I kick them all down. Ah, they combine, yeah. Or they just get back up. Nope, they combine. There she is. Five Nights at Freddy's ass. Ah, that music. Okay, you can stop doing that anytime, you know. Okay, not the most varied moveset in the world, but I guess it's effective.
Away with you.
If one of you guys want to use your limit break at some point, maybe that would be cool. No? Okay, then. Guess I will. Just for the fun of it. What's fucked up about that character design is, like, you saw the texturing on the doll's body, right? It was fleshy. It had veins. Ah. Gross. I don't suppose I can talk to them. Nah.
Hear, feel, think.
What's up, Crystal Mommy?
Time and space hast thou journeyed unto me, as I knew thou wouldst.
Are those new threads?
We are the word of the mother. We, who were once called Minfilia.
Oh, no, wait, hold on, hang on. Wait a minute, what? Oh, God, she turned Minfilia into a trad wife! No, but this is some... with the braids and the white dress and, like, the... Oh, Lord, that... That really has some serious trad wife aesthetics. Like, kind of a lot, especially with the blonde hair and the blue eyes. Good Lord. No skip.
Much time hath passed for thee since the bloody banquet, since I hearkened to her word.
Hey, maybe it's not cool if you just steal someone's body.
Hydaelyn guided me towards Y'shtola and Thancred, that I might be swept up in their flow and delivered unto the ethereal sea. There, adrift and alone, her voice silent once more, I prayed for those we had lost, for those we can yet save. To her I would make an offering. We speak now with one voice, one will, one word. Unto thee we bequeath the most precious of gifts, the truth which lieth at the heart of this world. Thus do we beseech thee once more. Hear, feel, think. Before there was life, in the depths of the ethereal sea, light and dark did once dwell as one. But the darkness coveted power, and the balance was broken. Thus was I forced to banish him unto the distant heavens, to forever remain apart, a moon bound. In sundering the star did we cry out, and the barriers twixt planes chanced to falter. Across 10 and 3 were we then divided, reflections of the source, each possessed of a shard.
13, you say?
Zodiac longeth to be made whole. For his restoration, for his resurrection, his servants labor without cease.
Kind of how we labor for the light all the time. It's weird how that's similar.
They seek to tear down the barriers which surround the source. Thus do they rejoice in their ardor, in your calamities, for each marks a rejoining. Seven times have they succeeded. 7 times hath the darkness grown stronger. 7 times have I failed. The Ascians cannot be suffered to continue. This is my final. The crystal's power is all but spent. With what remains, I will return you to the shore of the ethereal sea. Blessed children, go forth and seek. Seek.
Yo, Heidelin, what the fuck, girl?
You've had another vision, haven't you? Let us return to Master Matoya's cave. Everyone will wish to hear what you saw.
Hey, Heidelin, not super cool of you to steal someone's body and use her as a messenger like that. It's not awesome of you.
Still in one piece, are we? Well, did you learn anything?
The word of the mother? I'm not sure I understand.
Nor am I. Cryle?
As unbelievable as it sounds, I see no reason to doubt her. The word's tale. No one was more sensitive to the will of Heidelin than Minfilia. And if Heidelin has grown so weak that she can barely make herself heard, it is not hard to see why Minfilia, having joined with her, might struggle to maintain her own form.
What? Why would she need to maintain her own form? Are you saying she's gone? But that cannot be! Not now. Not after all we have accomplished. We were meant to usher in the dawn's light together.
She threw herself on the fire to fuel your dawn's light, boy. You'll just have to usher it in on your own.
Must you be so ungentle?
Tell me about the Scions, boy.
The scions of the Seventh Dawn lay before Eorzea's salvation. Whenever the realm is threatened, be it by Primal, Ascian, Garlean, or any other, we take up arms in her defense, that all in Eorzea may live to see a brighter tomorrow.
And that's very noble of you. But in chasing after these lofty goals of yours, you seem to have lost sight of some basic truths. To win a war, you must be willing to do whatever it takes. To fight, to kill, and if necessary, to die. The path you've chosen is paved with the dead. Walk it with your eyes open, or not at all.
I know the truth of which you speak, and have from the first. If the Ascians will go to any length to resurrect their god, then we must needs be as committed to our cause, to unmask them and their schemes, and to crush them both utterly. Come, there is much to be done.
Yes, of course.
Thancred, wait! No, this is all wrong.
So it is hard to feel... It is hard to feel a lot of like, oh no, Minfilia, because as we talked about a lot in Realm Reborn, she's just not a very compelling character. Like, she just isn't. Like, she is designed from the first very much to be the pure maiden, right? Like the sort of the pure maiden who has like a very emotionally attuned and very pure and very kind and very the quest giver. Yeah, right. And it's like it's hard to find a lot of reason to be like, oh no, she's gone, but she was such an important active part of the story. Yeah, like, she's very much a lady in distress. Like, that's certainly the parts of the story where she's been most active and most important is usually when she's in peril, right? Like, those are the moments when she's most central to the narrative, is when she needs to be saved from something or from someone. And that, for me, that makes it just a very unengaging character. Like, it's sort of the idea is that the player is supposed to feel like protective towards her. And feel and feel encouraged by all of her praise and all of her encouragement and all of her admiration for you as the player character. But it's just, I don't feel compelled. Like, the idea that she's dead now, it's like, I guess you guys care about it, Alphino and the others, but as for me, it's like, yeah, no, she was never that important to anything we did, so we'll probably be fine. I didn't build much of a relationship with her because there wasn't anything to build a relationship with, I don't think. I cared more for Moonbrita because she had personality. Yeah, exactly. It's like, and then Moonbrita, of course, gets fridged and dies. But Minfilia just is never allowed to have a personality beyond being the good girl, right? Beyond being, like, the nice girl who wants what's best for everyone and who's just kind of sweet and kind and pleasant, but who seems to have, like, she seems to have no motivation, no life, no meaning to her existence outside of outside of her role as leader of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, right? So, like, for me, it's really hard to get invested in her now being dead, like, beyond just looking at Heidelin like, hey, kind of fucked up to steal a person's body like that. Like, even if she offered, maybe that's not super cool. And now, as Style Pingu points out in chat, she has even less agency because now she's just like a literally Metatron to Heidelin.
She's not coming back, is she?
She did what she thought was best. Did she? I'm not so sure. I think she did what she, like, I think, because the vibe is like that Minfilia did what she did, like gave over her body out of desperation. Which, like, not cool, Heidelin.
The weighs on you too, I know. I understand why she made her decision, and yet, every time we lose another friend, I have to ask myself if there was not another way.
I mean, we could have done a coup in Ul'dah before Tleged had a chance to try. We could just have done a coup and killed all of them, and then none of this would have happened. But since you guys won't listen to me whenever I talk about economic policy, I guess here we are. So in that sense, it's your fault.
I must ask that you not breathe a word of this to any of the others at the Rising Stones, especially Flamen. I will brief Tatara on what we've learned, as well as Urianger. He may have insight into what the word told us. As for you, Brick, after all you've done, I would say you've earned a rest. Ah, but speaking of well-earned rewards, I received a missive from Sir Emmerich while you were away. It would seem he's planning a ceremony of some sort and would like you to attend. He did not divulge the details, preferring instead to explain in person. Mayhap you should pay him a visit.
Okay, then. Now, this seems like a decent place, I think, to cut an episode. So, before we do that, let's take a look at some of the glam reviews that people have been asking for. Let's see. His character is a flirty version of brilliant but lazy. He works as a mercenary using Arcanist summoner skills, but he would rather be living the high life as a trophy husband. Okay. Okay. Huh. Yeah, no, I can see what you're going for here. Like, I can see you're sort of going for the slightly slutty himbo thing. Of, like I just want to be pretty and I just want to, like, hang around and, like, look nice instead of having to work for a living. The boots especially do that for him. Yeah, I think if you wanted to make him more on the flirty side, you might want to reconfigure towards a different color scheme. Blue, broadly speaking, tends to be very placid. It tends to be associated with, like, wisdom and temperance and, like, calmness and virginity, for that matter. Is also a color that's heavily associated, is also something that's heavily associated with blue. So you might want to go, if you wanted him to be a little slutty, like yellow, red, pink, purple. Like, in terms of trying to get that character's vibe across with colors. But, like, the outfit is definitely on the right path. Like, the boots, especially, like, with the straps around, are definitely good. Showing some midriff is definitely up there. And I quite like the mask as well, as like because he's so clearly wearing it as an accessory. It's nothing useful, it's just something that looks pretty. That's sort of the right vibe. I think you could also probably play around with more elaborate rings, like jewelry, anything of that sort. I think would sort of emphasize that general idea. Anything like necklaces, earrings. You have them already, actually, on the ear there. That's about the right vibe, yeah. Like, I think there are some gloves in the game that have stuff that, like, wraps around the arms or have, like, little trinkets or jewelry and stuff that hangs off of the arm. And if you wanted to sort of, again, like, go harder on emphasizing him as sort of a trophy husband, I just want to be pretty, kind of vibe, I think you could probably lean into that. But other than that, like, you're definitely getting the vibe. Like, I think the fashion is perfectly chosen for it. And the tattoos in the corner of the eye there also help, it helps emphasize his, like, bedroom eyes thing. So I think that definitely works. Let's see. Trying out some different weapons and outfits for my character. As cool as the armor in the game is, I find I have a soft spot for, but also difficulty in finding and making more casual-ish glams. I'm wondering, though, if you think a more extravagant scythe or simpler scythe would make for interesting characterization. It depends. Like, if you want the character to just be casual, then I would go for a very simple scythe. Like, I would try and find something that literally just looks like a scythe from a farmer's field, and then focus on, like, because I think you're on the right path with, like, the flowers and the hair, for example. Like, I think in terms of making the character stand out or be sort of pop, I would go with accessories, necklaces, earrings, like flowers in the hair, bracelets, that sort of thing. And then keep everything else, like, very simple, but then, like, highlight them in the details. If you want specifically a character who, like, oh, I dress very simple, but I'm a fucking badass, like, I can actually kick 100 different kinds of ass, I would go for an even more extravagant weapon. Like, I would go for a weapon that is about as extra as you can get it, to highlight the contrast. And I think that weapon you have now does it a little bit already with, like, the circle, like, that where the scythe is attached to. Does it a little bit already. I don't think you should go for glow effects. Like, I don't think you should go for something that's, like, glowing with a million particle effects. I think just something that's really elaborate and very sort of over the top in its shape language, I think would do it for you. Going by the description that you've given me anyway. But those would be my thoughts on that as a character thing. Let's see. Gambling demon idea. I took screenshots at night, so the lighting's not great. The eyes and teeth are modded. Oh, I'll say. Ooh. Wait, I recognize that pattern. I think I do. Huh. Okay. Nice. Okay, so you're going for like a gambling demon. I think you're on the right path there. Like, I think the really loud overcoat with like the pattern on the inside, especially the diamond pattern, I think that's right. Like anything you can get. Oh, Buff Bean, thank you for the tip. Anything you can get that has playing card motif on it at all, like hearts, diamonds, clubs, anything like that definitely does it. Red and white is also a really good way to go. Purple as well, because those are like playing card colors. Those are casino colors. So I think you're on the right path there. I know you can't do much with hats on Aura, but if you could find a little, like a little accessory hat, like a cute spades, a cute little accessory hat of some kind, just a little thing that sort of sits on top of the head without being a real hat, that might help sort of emphasize the sort of quasi-formal, cutesy, performative nature. But no, yeah, like, you're definitely on the right path there. And the black pants are definitely also right. You could maybe do something more extravagant with the shoes. Like, black and white is good, but you could also carry the red through from the coat, like have some bright red shoes of some kind, or some bright red boots. Or the purple, you can carry that down as well. But you're definitely on the right path there. The things I would add would be extravagance. Like, when you're talking about a gambler, right? Anything in terms of, like, really ostentatious rings and earrings, anything that's really ostentatious jewelry would probably do well, along with that general concept. The sharp teeth are a good touch with the mod. They really are. Gives you that devilish feeling, right? Yeah, also you could paint the nails black. Painting the nails black or red would also definitely do something to highlight, because the hands otherwise are a little bit bare. Like, they're just sort of this flat white without a lot of points of interest. So if you could do anything with rings, anything with the nails, that would definitely sort of pump it up a little bit, I think, in terms of the thematic you're going for. But you're mostly there already. Like, if you told me this was like a demon that inhabits a casino, I would already believe you, because that definitely looks like the vibe of what you've got going on. Absolutely. Nice. It's a really nice coat. Anyway, this then will have to mark the end of another episode, and probably also for the night, the end of the stream. I'm going to try and see if I can't stream a little bit more tomorrow, and we might be able to make our way through some more patch content, because I really do want to get to those Hildebrand quests. So, if you've enjoyed hanging out in the world of Final Fantasy XIV with me, you can hit the like, comment, and/or subscribe buttons down below. Become a member of the channel to see episodes early. Head on over to Twitch and become a subscriber to see the VODs of the full streams, including the stuff that happens between episodes. And I think that is all of the self-promotion. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to be kind to one another, have solidarity with those who are worse off than yourselves, and may the tides of history wash gently over us all.